the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be attending the Ohio State University.
The number one player in the class of 2021, according to 24/7 Sports, JT Tuimoloau, made his college decision live here on CBS Sports HQ Sunday. Chose Ohio State over Oregon, Washington, and USC, and the decision on the 4th of July sending fireworks among the recruiting community. Now he is joining an already stacked class in Columbus. Ryan Day and company have 5 players in the top 10 in the country that are headed on campus this fall. And with more, we welcome in 24/7 Sports Director of Recruiting, Steve Wiltfong. So, Steve, what more can you tell us about the decision that went into Ohio State and how big of a get this is, JT Tuimoloau going to Ohio State?
Well, I think it's the pedigree that Ohio State's had at JT's position that was the difference in this recruiting. This is a young man that has tremendous potential. He was our number 1 ranked recruit from start to finish in the 2021 class, and he has big plans for college and developing into a player that's going to be drafted high, and Ohio State has that track record under Larry Johnson. You look at Joey Bosa, the number 3 pick in the draft, Nick Bosa and Chase Young drafted number 2 overall, and then Zach Harrison looks like he's on deck as the next top 10 pick for Ohio State at the position. That's the kind of development JT's looking for, his connection with Larry Johnson, the trust he has in Larry Johnson, and Ohio State's strength and conditioning program led by Mickey Marotti were the differences in this recruitment. Now, this is a young man that was able to wait the pandemic out, take his official visits. When things finally opened up in June, college programs were like, look, this is when we start school. Just be here by the first day. And he took trips to Washington, USC, and Oregon. But Ohio State was the team to beat the whole process. Alabama was considered the other major contender with their pedigree. But he took his official visit to Ohio State, canceled the trip to Alabama, and committed to us on CBS Sports HQ, or committed to Ohio State on CBS Sports HQ, and the Buckeyes land one of the more versatile defensive linemen to come out in years.
They continue to collect some real top-end prospects, Steve, and they're making history. 5 top 10, 24/7 recruits. Can you put into context and words about what this does to the recruiting wars?
Well, when you look at the teams that win the national championships, they have the most difference makers year in and year out. And Ohio State is bringing in some elite guys in this class. You have JT Tuimoloau joining Jack Sawyer. That's as good a duo on the defensive line that we've had in 24/7 Sports history going back to 2010. 2 top 5 guys at the position. Clemson signed Brian Brzee and Miles out of Georgia in last year's class, and then you go back to 2012 and you got Eddie Goldman and oh man, I'm drawing a blank, but you go back to 2012 and so that's a special duo for Ohio State there. Trevion Henderson, in my opinion, is the best running back to come out since Reggie Bush. When you look at the high school film, his tape is tremendous. And Emeka Egbuka, Ohio State continues to load up at the receiver position. And Donovan Jackson is arguably the best offensive lineman in the class. So 2, or as you said, 5 top 10 prospects coming to Ohio State.
Yeah, collecting a great group that we haven't seen in more than 10 years of what you said. So again, Ohio State getting JTT over the likes of Oregon. However, not all is bare for Mario Cristobal and company. 5-star Kelvin Banks is committed to Oregon, and we're talking about a 5-star guy out of Texas, where we talk about Penei Sewell, who's just got into the NFL, but he's projected and rated higher than a guy like Sewell, right?
Yeah, this is Oregon's been on a roll here. They're in the top 10 now in the 24/7 Sports recruiting rankings, and Kelvin Banks is the jewel to pull him out of the Lone Star State and beat LSU, beat Texas, and then beat Texas A&M, who was the other finalist. Shows you the level that Mario Cristobal and the Ducks are recruiting at. They've had 3 straight top 10 classes. They've had 3 straight number 1 classes in the Pac-12, working on a 4th. And now they're also trying to work on their 3rd top 10 class over that same span. As we've talked about before, I think Oregon's recruiting at a championship level, and Kelvin Banks is another piece for them as they continue to really dominate at the point of attack when you compare the way Oregon's recruiting to the way USC and other programs are recruiting in the Pac-12 in the trenches.
Highest rated offensive lineman to commit to Oregon. Penei Sewell was a 4-star back in 2018 out of St. George, Utah. Let's go from a 5-star to a 4-star in Jacolby Spells, who made his commitment known here on CBS Sports HQ. And Steve, it is West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia had a couple massive official visit weekends to start the month of June, and it's really paying off. None bigger than Jacolby Spells in an athletic corner. He can run sub-11 speed in the 100-meter dash, has played receiver, but has all the traits you're looking for as a defensive back. He can run. He's a fluid athlete. He turns into a receiver when the ball's in the air. This is a big get for West Virginia. There was a time where Indiana was in this. Indiana's recruited the Sunshine State well. So West Virginia beating out Tom Allen and the Hoosiers, but then obviously beating out Miami. Miami's got just 3 commits right now, 3 good ones in my opinion, in Ja'Cory Brown and Kamari Rogers. And those guys, but they're struggling for home cooking. Ibieta, the receiver from Louisiana, being the 3rd. But if they can come back and get Shamar Stewart, and it's a long way to go before some of these other guys put pen to paper. But Miami got to get it rolling down home. Yeah,
Manny Diaz not getting it in his own backyard, but Jacolby Spells also choosing West Virginia over the likes of Arkansas, Arizona State, Indiana, and the U. Before we let you go, Steve, what about the next commitment to keep an eye on? Because we've talked about this before. July should be a busy month for everybody.
Well, the number 3 running back in the top 247, Nicholas Singleton, is announcing his commitment on CBS Sports HQ on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Penn State and Notre Dame have been the 2 teams battling at the top for Singleton. It also took official visits to Alabama, A&M, and Wisconsin. This is a Penn State-Notre Dame battle, and the 24/7 Sports crystal ball is trending towards Happy Valley. Penn State picked up 3 commits yesterday. They have the number 3 recruiting class in the country. James Franklin has 1 top 10 class to his name. Looking for another one. Nicholas Singleton has coveted a recruit for them as any in this cycle.
Steve Wiltfong with the very latest and what to look ahead. Steve, certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's remind you about 24/7 Sports and what they're doing, of course, in the high school football / college football world. It is your team all the time. 24/7 Sports, the wall-to-wall team coverage, recruiting rankings, and transfer portal updates.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.